Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Attack on Show. I'm Robbie.
And I'm Jay Marsh.
We've got a fun-filled episode for you guys today. We're going to do some movie news, some entertainment news as well.
News.
Get you guys caught up on all this HBO fun that's happening. And then we're going to do Binge Worthy with FX's Devs.
This is going to be fun.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sure. And then on Beacon Rewind, we're going to take a look at the most accurate telling of the future.
Amen.
Yes.
It's kind of trumped the whole idiocracy rule at this point right now.
Close. We have to compare the two.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at Stallone's Demolition Man. That's right. That's going to be exciting. And then I Miss My MTV.
It's been a while.
It has.
This
is a great track. Sebastian Paul's Impatient. You're going to like this song.
Absolutely.
Everybody stick around. We got a lot of fun for you. Again, I'm Robbie.
And I'm Jay Marsh.
And this is
Attack on Show.
All right, as promised, we've got some movie or TV news. I guess would be more fitting.
Like everything fits now.
Yeah. HBO just released the HBO Max app, which led to a lot of confusion because there was HBO, HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Max.
I'm actually looking forward to you figuring this all out for me now.
It took me a little bit.
Yeah.
I was able to solve the Rubik's Cube before I got this all settled. But what it comes down to, they just announced actually that they are getting rid of the HBO Go app.
Okay.
That will now be the HBO Now app. HBO Now is going to be just known as HBO, I guess. And then there's, Are you
going to put an overlay on this? Because I think we need it,
no.
right?
Somehow by the end of the summer, it's only going to be HBO and HBO Max.
Oh, there we go. That makes it a lot easier then. Yeah.
Rolling out.
So like Coke and New Coke?
Apparently.
Okay.
But I don't know the difference in what they're going to have between the two. I believe HBO Max is more Warner Brothers driven content.
Sure, because this all comes from the acquisition by AT&T of Warner Brothers and everything that's probably inspired by that.
Yes. Now, they had big news. HBO Max, they had the big news.
Actually, huge news is the Snyder Cut. If I'm not mistaken, they actually allowed in the Snyder Cut, they went back through. They redid voice work. They brought a lot of the original actors in for voice work. And it's not like this is just of taking what he had.
No, they actually allotted a $20 million
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah,
additional budget to finish the
the
film. I think they're going to do some reshoots.
A lot of the special effects, a lot of that $20 million is going in to finish some of Snyder's special effects.
Would you call it decolor correction? Because I imagine it's going to go back to the black and white.
I would say so. If you haven't had an opportunity, take a look at like some of the things that there's a definite change in the tone and what Rob is referring to, the color of the film. His son passed away, which allowed him to, well, we don't know if it allowed him to come out of the production of the film.
Was forced out of it.
There's a lot going on with this. I think we should probably cover that just a tad bit.
Yeah, it seemed that at the time, obviously Warner Brothers was not happy with the cut of Justice League.
I think Marvel and the humor in Marvel kind of took.
Yes,
it kind of scared them, and they wanted it a little. I've always had a problem with Warner Brothers. They didn't really kind of know what direction they wanted. Ever.
No,
it seemed like they were always kind of bouncing all over the place.
I was not a fan of Man of Steel. Batman v Superman, I will say the more I watch the movie, the more I actually do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But and it's interesting when you look at the box office tallies. When you take the first 5 DC films versus the first 5 Marvel films, DC has actually tallied more money in those first 5 films than the Marvel 5
great stat,
films. So, true. I am excited to see the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. I don't think it can be any worse. So I am excited to see his version of it. I do think he did have a bigger picture in mind, especially when you do dive into Batman v Superman. There's a lot of build-up in that movie that I think was leading the Justice League, and hopefully to pay off in Justice League. The whole Darkseid storyline never coming to fruition. I'm really excited to see Darkseid.
It was hinted oddly, there was just...
In the dream sequence.
Yeah, in the dream sequence.
Or was it a dream? Snyder has hinted that might not have been a dream.
Or even the Flash jumping back in and making... There was some things that were oddly left in there, but yet... Like you said, not followed through.
No, I'm excited for it.
Do you think this is going to lead into a Snyder universe with Warner Brother and AT&T?
The more recent news is that there has been rumors going on that Ben Affleck and Jared Leto may be in the works of doing Batman Joker stories for HBO Max. So DC has said from the get-go that they're not afraid to do the multiple universes like they did with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. So it's very possible. I would love to see more Ben Affleck Batman. And if there's one thing I'm excited for in the Snyder Cut, is just more Ben Affleck.
I'm not going to lie. I would love to see more Jared Leto Joker. I get the criticism. I do. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that different aspect. He fits a role in the comics of one of the, if you don't know, there's actually 3 Jokers in that universe. So, and he fits kind of one of those characters very well. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that one. No, I think it's an incredible.
I do like
role.
the idea of the multiple universes.
Absolutely.
The animation has been able to do that. You might be in luck with the Jared Leto Joker though, because there is a push now for the Suicide Squad cut to get released on HBO Max. So there is a big petition now that they've seen Justice League get it.
Yes.
Hope maybe that'll come to fruition here. So, moral of the story is, if you have HBO subscription, you don't need the HBO Go app anymore. You can just download the HBO Max app. That will get you the same content. HBO Now was if you didn't have HBO, but you just paid for the subscription, say, on like a standalone like Hulu service, you would have paid for the HBO Now app. That'll just now be the HBO app, and then you can still have the HBO Max, which I think obviously with the Warner Brothers, you're going to get all the Harry Potter films, the DC, which they did come out saying the DC was getting removed next month, which is also throwing kind of a headspin on all this. That Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman,
Man of Steel. Are they going to roll out their own?
Well, there's already the DC streaming service, but all these movies apparently are coming off next month. So that was a big selling point for the HBO Max. Again, if you had HBO already, though, you get HBO Max. So there's not an additional fee to sign up for. So definitely something, if you have HBO subscription, download HBO Max and watch Harry Potter and some of the DC movies before they get removed, and stay tuned for next, I believe it's next summer.
So what Rob really wants to say here is AT&T, if you do want to sponsor this show, please contact Rob.
We are not going to be on AT&T Universe anytime soon. So you want to do Binge Worthy?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's make more friends.
Listen up now. This is serious.
I was just wondering,
Did you... No!
All right, on this week's episode of Binge Worthy, we're taking a look at the FX original on Hulu, Devs. Alex Garland's
plural,
Devs, I should say.
Yes.
Alex Garland, you might know from such films as like Annihilation. Is it Ex Machina or Ex Machida?
Machida.
Machida? I've only tried reading it. So if you've seen those films, you kind of know what you're in for with his style of filming. I will say Devs does capture that. It's the similar style. Visually, I was caught on the previews for this series. The trailers had me sold. I was excited to check out this show, especially with Alex Garland behind it, because I was a big fan of Annihilation and Ex Machina. I thought they were both really well done films. So I was really excited to see this series. You started out, I will say the show has good visuals. I think the sound, the music is really well done.
Here we go.
The story is interesting, but the acting is terrible.
All right, so I agree. Literally, that's everything. And it was one of those things where Rob kind of reaches out to me. He's like, hey, watch this. And he gave me
a bad joke.
Well, you gave me a slight warning with it. But in much of what you're saying, the visuals and music are insane in this. And I think that's the other reason you keep watching it.
I will say the story, when you get through the first episode, it's intriguing. Nick Offerman, kind of a general synopsis of the series, is Nick Offerman's kind of like an older,
tech genius.
Yes. Like a Bill Gates, I would say.
Yes.
He's got this giant tech company. The series takes place, I would say, in the future, but not too far.
Yeah, the near future, yeah.
And there's a department in this company called Devs. And nobody really knows what it is. And when the story starts, a man gets selected to join Devs.
But what am I actually doing here?
I'm not going to tell you. Don't worry. You're going to figure it out.
And his girlfriend watches him go into Devs. And
they're both working for the same company.
Yes.
He gets selected for this extra.
He goes off and never comes back. So there's a whole mystery of what happened to him where she's trying to figure this out. Nick Offerman, I actually thought he did a good job. I liked it.
To me, it's a casting problem. I think he did a good job. I don't think he's that person.
It's hard to top the Parks and Rec.
Well, I think that's the problem with Nick Offerman is that he's that guy. He's the whiskey drinking, meat eating guy where he kind of plays the tech guy. Do you know?
I do say I think the character sold me more the more I watched it.
Okay.
I will say,
All right,
like,
all
at
right.
first it was hard to stomach, but the more I watched him in that character, I thought it really
So
came.
the only
it
character
fleshed out.
that fleshed out.
No, I will
Oh,
actually
okay.
say one other character that actually really impressed me. It's Zack Grenier, and you might know him. The best part you know him from is from Tommy Boy with the boy. Would I like to get some of that? He's kind of the comedic role.
I didn't realize that. Now that you say that, I didn't put the two and them
No,
together.
he plays like the security guard,
Yes.
tough, straight-faced guy, and sells it.
You are a dissident. I am a tank.
I was actually afraid of him. I thought he did a great. Because I've only seen him in those small comedic roles.
Even in the original episode, he does definitely play that well. And again, which is another part of this that we didn't talk about, is the editing.
Yes.
Is actually very well done, and I think that's incredibly. I think it's probably
The
more important
cinematography's
now.
on point, the editing.
Really, I don't know if it's the direction of this film, or if it is. I keep pointing back to the casting in this that I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it's
Favors or something. Like people were paying each other favors to get spots in this. I don't know.
It was one of those series that I think we made it to episode 4, and I really didn't want to continue watching. But the only thing that really
you just
kept
want
me
to
involved.
pull the sword out right? You really want to just give it to her?
No,
No,
not yet.
No.
I was intrigued enough by the story, and the only reason that it kept me involved was I knew it was a mini series. This is not a long-running series. I knew that after 8 episodes, they were going to tell the end of the story, and that was it. Like, this wasn't going to be a season 2 or wonder what's going to happen. So I figured I was already 4 hours in. I was halfway there.
Sure.
I might as well finish. If it was going to be a running series, I would have ended the show then. I had no interest in continuing, other than
It's
just to
interesting
figure
that
out.
you say that. You've mentioned that before in us discussing this. That is a big part of why you went through.
I was already
with it.
vested.
Yeah.
I figured I might as well find out what was this all for. The hardest part of this story is it's Sonoyo Mizuno. I believe I'm pronouncing her name right. She's the lead in this.
Beautiful woman.
Terrible acting.
Okay? Neither of us knows what to do.
I cannot stress that enough. Yes,
Yes.
it was so hard to watch. And she has worked with Alex Garland. She was in Ex Machina. She was in Annihilation in small bit parts. But they gave her the lead. And
You said it when we discussed it. It's tough to watch. It's literally like you find yourself almost cringing when it's one of her
it
scenes
is
in
as
it.
dry, stale of acting as you
There's
can get.
There's nothing like she's pissed. It's almost like she's pissed off the entire film. Like there's nothing emotional.
It's worse than
there.
Captain Marvel.
I'm reporting a crime.
Oh, by leaps and bounds.
But it is just dry. There's no emotion behind her character. It is very tough to get through her characters. It was very stale to see this, and it was tough because there's Jin Ha, who plays like an ex-boyfriend of hers, who does a great job acting in it. And I found myself watching the series feeling for him because he's actually doing a good job acting, and she's just not bouncing off of him at all.
There's no chemistry. When you talk about that, there's really no chemistry with her with anybody.
No.
In this that's.
And it is so distracting. It takes you out of the story, which is kind of a compelling story because you start to find out that what the devs department's doing is that they've set up a computer where they can see into the past. No, this is.
All right.
I did look. This is in the spoiler-free synopsis.
Okay, copy that.
They're developing a computer that they can designate any time, location, and they can see a live like they can see it like it's a live video in this computer. It can show them what happened because they believe everything is set into place.
There is no
by chance.
There is no by chance. There is I like to refer to it as the California Twin Peaks.
Yes.
I really like the visuals would be a
Yes.
California Twin Peaks. That's even the structure is a California
Yes.
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
No, but I will say again, I think the pros in this series is the cinematography, sound and music, and like you say, editing. And Jeff, for the cons, what would you list as the cons in this?
Oh my God,
series?
where do I get far? This is
You get 3.
it's a fucking train
Top 3
wreck.
cons.
Well, Lily Chan, and obviously, I hate to beat her up in this, but she deserves it.
Who?
Lily Chan, I'm sorry, the character Lily Chan.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry, Lily Chan, the character. I'm sorry, Sonia Mizuno, like the tennis shoe, because she's about as flat as a tennis shoe, because that's her name. There was a joke in there. Look for it. That is definitely one of them. The
pacing, I think,
the
took
pace.
a little too
It's
long.
long. It's really dragged out. We had actually talked about this, and I had said this would make a great movie.
Yes.
But not that. That would be.
It was 6 hours, 7 hours too long. Yes.
It really was. And again, and I think the casting, I think there was, you were strong. There's a character named Sergei, he's played by Carl Glusman. Even that was like, I think that was a real kind of, like, I don't want to give, he kind of plays an important small role in it.
You wonder if they're really good, or was she that bad?
No, it is. He's absolutely right. But even, and maybe that's what I look at as my third con, is maybe it's not him. Yeah. Maybe it was just playing it off with her.
Hard to do, yeah.
It really was hard to do. But go ahead, give me.
I was gonna say overall pass. We're gonna save you some time.
Yeah, we really are. I struggle with the pass because I will say this real quick. One of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen, visually and musically, and we've both poked it at. But I would not waste the time on all of these.
No.
Agreed?
So pass. We're gonna save you attacker some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can thank us later and watch something else more important. I don't know, reruns of Jeopardy. Yes.
I don't know.
Love reruns of Jeopardy. So what do you want to do? We're gonna do some Becon Rewind.
Yeah.
All right, on this week's episode of Becon Rewind, we're taking a look, as we mentioned in the intro. This is probably the most accurate telling.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's absolutely it is. You take a movie that no one can touch each other. Yes, exactly. With social distancing plays a strong and opulent point in the entire movie. And then, with large corporate sponsorships, you can be the only existing restaurant.
Yeah, going to Taco Bell is a big deal.
It's absolutely.
Wesley Snipes is out of jail.
You can't forget the shells.
The three seashells.
Yes,
when we were out of toilet paper.
Incredibly important.
Those would have been important. Which I got to say, for a movie made in, 96, 93, I am still confused to this day how the hell you use those three seashells. I was really upset
I don't
at the end
think
of the
anyone
movie.
knows. That's probably a good lookup, everybody. Comment below and let us know how you use the three seashells.
So Demolition Man, it's currently streaming on Hulu. I just found it, and we watched it just because obviously we've seen the jokes about the social distancing, the three seashells, and I was really curious, does this movie hold up? Does it age well? So we popped it on and watched it, and I gotta say, no.
No, not at all. Not at all. Still a fun watch, but absolutely not at all. Wesley Snipes plays Simon Phoenix, who's basically, if you take Willie Mays Hayes and you mix it with Blade, you get Simon Phoenix.
It was the same haircut, too.
Absolutely it was, yes.
Except bleached.
That's what I said. That's that mix you got going on there. Yes.
If you've never seen Demolition Man, the synopsis of this one is Stallone is a renegade cop.
I'm really interested how you're going to pull the synopsis off.
And then Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes' character, is like the top criminal of the day, and this is in the 90s. And Stallone goes in to like capture him, and basically doesn't believe that Wesley Snipes has all these hostages in the building. They fight with some unnecessary jumping in the glass and cool one-liners. And then basically the building blows up. Wesley Snipes is arrested, but they find out all the hostages were in the building, and Wesley Snipes is telling the truth. So in this world, the punishment is that they will freeze you. I watched this with my 13-year-old, and she was like, "So they're just gonna go to sleep? That's the punishment."
The frozen prison. Yes. Which is, I think even back then in '93, which I'm not gonna divulge where I was doing at that age, but I didn't understand that.
No, like, why are you freezing these people?
And I never understood why John Spartan, the Stallone character, was frozen. I was like, well, what did he? Like, it's not his fault. But yes.
So they both get frozen. Somehow down the road, way down in the future, Wesley Snipes is able to break out at his trial, and he's on the loose. So of course, in this peaceful times of the future, where police apparently have no idea how to handle crime, their only solution is let's thaw out Stallone.
It's not crime; it's a murder, death, kill. Murder, death, kill. Yes.
That's where I learned 187 before Dre and Tupac song. Yes. And then so they bring out John Spartan to capture this guy because they've never seen any evil like it.
Yes.
I will say I forgot to mention one other depiction of the future that I think they got right.
Yes.
Which it was not in any of the jokes I've seen, so I'm really proud of myself for this one. Okay.
Yes.
So when they're listening to the radio, their version of the radio in the future was listening to old commercial songs from here, 30-second songs. And I will say, with the attention span of people right now that they don't watch YouTube, look at the view count.
Yes.
They're all on TikTok, and everything's getting shorter now. Even songs are becoming 2-minute quick.
Absolutely,
hits.
yes.
Actually, when I was watching that scene, I'm like, wow, they actually nailed that as well too. 30-second songs. Why not?
And what sticks in your head more than a jingle?
Exactly.
Wow.
Maybe BTS. But so the movie has I'm a fan of K-pop. The movie has some very unnecessary action, and it is.
You don't say?
I remember watching this back in '93, not realizing that. Like, I thought it was good action.
You're on TV!
It is terrible now when you watch it. It is amazing to see how far film has come because the action sequences don't hold up well.
One time, you and I need to do a segment where we talk about that. We talk about those key movies that changed everything when it comes to some of them.
But I mean, even having fun action movies, like watching the Indiana Jones and watching the older movies, they do age. They're fine to get along. This one just didn't carry like that.
Rob,
like, it's too over the top.
I will make the argument that it's so over the top that I feel it's kind of meant to be that way. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of
I don't think it was at the time, though. I think it was a legit action film.
I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, absolutely it was. Yeah.
Running around with a gun, and it was just terrible. It's just terrible. I will say one of the standout performances, Dennis Leary as Edgar Friendly, totally different character than what he's used to.
I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section.
Playing. It was great to see him.
Is that the pop-up? That's with the pop-up spray paint something? Yes.
And he does his MTV bit.
And we get a guy and we name him after a tool. I don't know, like MC Wrench or...
Like 3 times throughout it.
Yeah.
I think the movie actually ends with a Dennis Leary MTV bit. So, no, that was right. But one of the highlights that did come out of this movie was Sandra Bullock.
Absolutely.
This was her big leading role with Stallone, and this is where she got really discovered. And she played the naive, like she was a fan of the old action 90s days. And, you know, so she wanted to see what action was like. So there was some good humor parts with that type of tie-in with, you know, the world and the future being so clean, her wanting to see some of the gritty, and Stallone was, I do love that you get a ticket every time you swear, and the way Stallone would just go up and swear a ton and like use that for toilet paper. Like, there is some good humor in this film.
You know, this is a quintessential 90s film. This is extreme everything. It's just over the top. The outfits
when
are over the top.
you throw your cigarette butt, it's going to explode.
Exactly. I mean, Jesse Ventura's in this damn movie. I mean, what more do you want?
He was in that,
what
too.
more do you want at this? Yeah.
No, but hey, it's on Hulu. I will say, why not?
Oh, absolutely. This is one of those. It's because you know what struck me with rewatching it. It's not a very long film. It didn't feel that.
It was much
under
quicker.
2 hours.
Yes.
It was very quick. Yes.
And especially with the news coming out, Stallone announced on Instagram that they are making a part 2. So you might as well catch up now while it's streaming on Hulu, so you're ready for part 2. Because I imagine Dolph Lundgren's going to be in it. Wesley Snipes probably coming back. I don't know, like
Arnold Schwarzenegger, because that's just how those two work now. You know,
Randy
someone's
Couture.
going to break something and be in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's
going to be some good action.
Yes.
So you're going to want to catch this up because I imagine you're going to need to know the story before you jump into part 2.
Sure, because it's been 25 years. So yeah, absolutely.
Top Gun's doing it. Why not Demolition Man?
Absolutely.
Yes. Now all we need is a rad sequel, and I'll be ready to go.
Don't get a little clamped every time you say that.
Speaking of nostalgia, you know what I miss?
What?
I miss my MTV.
Wow.
This is going nice.
This is really going nice. Very smooth.
Speaking of smooth, on this week's...
Nice, yeah.
We've been off for a while. I got a lot built up.
Yeah.
On this week's I Miss My MTV, we've got an artist, Sebastian Paul.
Yeah.
And this guy's got actually a few good tracks out there. He's got an EP out, Trojan Horse.
5 tracks. Yep.
5 tracks on that.
Yep.
And then he just came out with Indulge, which is his follow-up to it. There's a few good tracks on there. They're all really good. But we're going to highlight this track. It's called Impatient. He's got a music video out for this. It's a fun track.
Very fun track.
Get up, move your feet, everybody. You might as well let loose. You can't go out. So here is Sebastian Paul, Impatient.
I made my decision, my direction is changing, cause I couldn't wait for you for my entire life. I hope you make it to someone who treats you right, and when you think of me, I hope that all your memories are sweet, but I don't wanna walk around this you for forever. I haven't found a way to make it better.
So there you have it, Sebastian Paul, Impatient.
It's not bad.
You like?
Yeah, I do, absolutely.
Thought it was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check them out. Trojan Horse is a wicked track. Unfortunately, there wasn't a video, so I didn't want you guys staring at a picture of that whole minute. Odds are you're probably
It's
not
actually
even
a
here
fun
now.
little video. I mean, no one watches this part of our show anyways, so we can go on forever. I will say it's actually...
Our average watch time's a minute and a half. They don't even see the intro.
That's okay. Thanks for that minute and a half, everybody. Yes.
But no, yeah, the visual for it's actually pretty cool.
I actually enjoyed watching it.
And the beat's wicked. But
Well,
no,
absolutely.
Impatient's a fun track to throw
Yeah.
on. So definitely check out more from Sebastian Paul. You guys will be happy. And if you do, comment below. Let us know if you liked it.
And then ring that bell. Click that little bell down there, and that'll give you an update every time we got a new show.
Yes, and subscribe first. And because
yeah, the bell.
I think, do you have to do that before the bell, or can you just do the bell? I think you have to subscribe.
You have to subscribe first. So that's the most important thing.
No idea how
you could
any of this
possibly
works.
do.
Everybody, thank you for watching. I'm Robbie.
And I'm Jay Marsh.
And this is
Attack on Show.